Hey guys, how's it going? This is Autobot JCB here again for another How to Transform video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to transform the 2002-2003 Transformers Armada Overload. In addition to Overload, I'm going to be showing you how to transform his partner Minicon Rollout. Now, Rollout actually doubles as not only his Minicon, but it also is the head of Overload while he's in his alt mode. I believe that they modeled Overload after the Headmaster series, where the smaller figure would transform into a big head and then latch on to the body of the bigger Transformer. Also, as an added bonus, I'm going to be showing you guys how to combine Overload with not only Optimus Prime, but also with Jetfire. Before I do that, I do want to give a quick shout out to YouTubers Waffle On With Wayne and Emmett Animations for requesting the Overload video. And then I also want to give a shout out to YouTuber SD Reviews for actually teaching me a trick on how to get Optimus Overload and Jetfire combined correctly without having any issues. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to transform Overload, and then we'll move on to combining him with Optimus and Jetfire. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take off Rollout, which is the cab of the shuttle transport vehicle mode. We're just going to go ahead and set him off to the side because we're going to be using him later on. One thing I like about Overload's vehicle mode is that you can actually take there's the hitch receiver right here where the pin on Overload actually links in can actually be directly set onto the trailer hitch for Optimus when he's in his vehicle mode. Or, as an added bonus, what you can do is you can flip down this hitch right here, and you can actually link it into the port that is on the rear underside of Optimus's cargo container. I think that's kind of a neat feature that they added, so it gives them a little bit of extension. I do believe that we only see Optimus towing Overload one time in the Armada series. I could be wrong, but I know for sure there's at least once. And then one other thing that's kind of neat is that while Overload is in his vehicle mode, you can actually take Jetfire in his vehicle mode and set him on top, where the lower two thrusters of Jetfire's shuttle mode will actually sit on this, so Optimus can use Overload as a trailer to tow Jetfire around. It's kind of a neat feature. But anyway, to get this one started, the first thing we're going to want to go ahead and do is we're going to want to take the blaster cannon that's right here and the blaster cannon that's right here. And we're just going to go ahead and flip those down underneath just like that. And just like that. And then the next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to grab right here and go ahead and pull that up one click. And then take this whole section and flip it all the way around. And this port right here will link onto this pin right here. So go ahead and do that. And then what we'll do is we'll give this a 180-degree turn just like that. So we'll come over here, flip this around, link it into the port. Give it a 180-degree turn. The next thing you're going to want to do is, now these pieces right here, they are on little rails, and in the middle here, they're actually hooked together. So when you disconnect them, just go ahead and pull them both out to the side and pull them free of those pins right there. Go ahead and pull them out about halfway, and then give them a turn, and then push them back. And what you'll do is you'll flip these all the way around and flip them just like that, because these are actually going to become Overload's legs. And then what you do is you just go ahead and fold the feet down just like that. Go ahead and do that. And then finally what you do is we'll go ahead and bring these sections down. And then what you'll do is when you push up, this pin right here will actually come out of the top just like that. So we'll go ahead and bring that down, push that out of the top just like that. And then these panels right here, go ahead and flip these back and lock them onto that gray pin right there. Those will reveal Overload's fists. Go ahead and do that. So there's what Overload's body looks like. And now before I show you how to turn Rollout into the head, I will show you how to transform him into his Minicon mode. So the first thing you'll want to do with Rollout is you'll want to go ahead and disconnect his legs from here and here, and go ahead and fold these all the way down just like that. And then what you do is you take these two barrels right here, go ahead and disconnect them from this plate just like that, and then bring them off to the side. There's a little port right here, and it'll link onto this little pin right here, just like that. And bring the other side around, just like that. Go ahead and flip those down, and then what you do is go ahead and flip that down behind him, and then you'll see when you flip this panel open, there's a little gold plate right here. Just go ahead and push that up on its hinge right there, and then close that panel, and there we have Rollout ready to go. So now what we'll do is I'll show you how to turn him into the head configuration. Just go ahead and push his head back down, and we'll turn him back into vehicle mode really quick. Go ahead and flip these around, flip that around, lock those pins in, and then just fold this back up just like this. And to turn him into the head, it's really simple. You just flip this panel open again, and instead of grabbing here, you'll grab down here and pull out that entire section right there, and there's Overload's head. And then this little gap right here will slide onto this rail right here, and you just slide that right in, and there we have Overload transformed and ready to go. So, in addition to being able to combine with Optimus for the Overload cannon, Overload actually has a couple of hidden missile pods. And if you look where the Autobot symbols are right here on his shoulders, these are actually flip-up panels. And what they do is they don't actually fire or anything, but I still think it's a neat amount of detail, is if you open those up, they will reveal little rocket pod launchers. So I guess he's got a little hidden surprise for Megatron if Megatron gets in his way. So we'll go ahead and flip those shut. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I will show you how to transform Overload into the Overload cannon assembly. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and take Rollout out of the body. Go ahead and flip the head down. We're just going to set this off to the side right now. We're going to be using Rollout in just a minute. So what I like to do is I will start by taking off the legs of Overload. They come completely off. And what these do, I don't have the missiles in them right now, but what you'll do is you'll open this panel on the front of Overload's foot, and then just go ahead and push his foot all the way up into the panel. So it looks like that, and then just flip that panel shut, and there's one of the gun barrels for the Overload cannon. So we'll go ahead and flip this panel open right here, push that all the way up in there, just like that, and push that down. Now, when you put the barrels back onto Overload, I'll show you that in just a moment, make sure that you have the Minicon port on the outside of the gun barrels. Because for one, I think it looks kind of silly if the Minicon panels were on the inside, and plus it gives them a little a couple spots if you need some extra oomph. So the next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to go ahead and take the upper parts of Overload's legs, go ahead and give them a quarter turn out, click them up forward just like this, and then go ahead and rotate them back the other way, similar to what you'd be doing if you were putting him in vehicle mode. One thing I like to do is I will actually give them push them back one additional click, so that way they kind of hang back a little bit. The next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to go ahead and flip the panel shut on Overload's arms to cover up his fist, just like that. And then go ahead and push forward on that, which will push that rod back into place here. And that will look just like that. So we'll go ahead and flip the panel shut and push that pin in just like that. And we'll just raise it up a little bit. The next thing you'll want to do is where the speaker is on Overload, go ahead and grab right here and go ahead and flip this down just like this. And then this little panel right here, just go ahead and flip that up just like that. The next thing you'll do is you'll take the barrels of Overload and you'll slide them back onto the railings, or these rails right here. And then they just slide on. They don't click in place or anything, but they just kind of sit there. So there's one of the Overload cannons on there. And then we'll go ahead and slide the other one on. And there we have Overload ready to connect onto Optimus. Now, it is optional, but if you want, you can actually reinsert the Minicon into the chest of Overload. I suppose you could consider it like a supercharged battery pack. I don't think you have to do that, but it's kind of a neat feature. And then one other thing you can do if you want is underneath rollout, you'll notice that there are 2 gun barrels, and these just flip out just like this. And when Optimus is in his super mode with overload connected onto him, the hitch actually becomes a grip, and Optimus can use this as a blaster. All right, so there we have overload ready to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in Optimus, the upper half of Optimus' super mode, and I will show you how to connect overload onto Optimus, and then I will show you how to combine it onto the Optimus super mode or the Jet Convoy. So as you can see here, we've already got Optimus transformed into the upper half of his super mode. He's all set to go. This one's pretty simple. The first thing you're going to want to do, though, is you'll want to make sure you take off the smokestacks for Optimus's vehicle mode, and then make sure you fold back the wings on Optimus's head. That's virtually all you do with Optimus. So to do this, what I typically do is I will flip the cannons up out of the way, just so I don't have to worry about them being in my way. You'll notice that on each side, there's a pinhole here, there's a pinhole here, and then on each side of this, there's a little groove. Not this one in the front, but there's a groove right here on the side, on each side. These grooves will actually slide down onto the pins that are right here on Optimus's back, and then the red pegs that are right here and right here on Optimus's arms. These are the arms for his alt mode, his normal alt mode. They will actually peg into the pinholes that I showed you on overload. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and slide overload onto those pins right there. Go ahead and slide him down until he stops going down, and then reach in here and click that pin into place just like that. It's not always going to be perfect, but it is actually, once it's connected, it's actually a pretty solid connection. So go ahead and slide that into there. Okay, so there we have the upper half of Optimus hooked onto overload. And then what you do is just go ahead and bring the cannons down, and they will actually rest on Optimus Prime's shoulders, just like that. I don't remember if you're actually supposed to have this slid back so it's more on his shoulder. I don't think you do, because I have noticed that in here, there's a little groove on Overload's arm. There's a little groove right here, and that actually looks like it sits right on this edge of the wrist gauntlet for Optimus. So I typically just leave it pushed forward just like that, so that way I don't have any issues with it. So we'll go ahead and bring down the other cannon just like that. So there's what the upper half of Optimus looks like with the overload cannon. And what I'll do now is I will show you how to combine him onto the super mode and to Jet Convoy. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that Optimus's trailer obviously is transformed into the super mode. Overload hooking onto Optimus is virtually the exact same as just hooking Optimus onto the trailer by himself. The gap that is behind Optimus will actually get filled in. So this gap will get filled in by overload. And then you literally just take Optimus and you just peg him onto the same pins that you do for his super mode. You just go ahead and lock him down onto those pins right there. That's virtually all you have to do to get Optimus into the super mode configuration right there. So as you can see there, we got Optimus and Overload power linked together. So now what I will do is I will show you what Optimus looks like when you have him, Overload, and Jetfire all combined. So if you give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Hey guys, sorry if you missed anything. All right, so I've got Optimus taken off of the super mode trailer, and I've got Jetfire transformed and ready to go. Now, before I connect Optimus onto Jetfire, like I said at the beginning of the video, I wanted to give a shout out to SD Reviews for actually teaching me about this. This is something that I didn't even know that you could do. Oops, sorry about that. With Jetfire. But if you take Jetfire and you turn them around, you'll notice the biggest issue I've always had with combining all three of them is Jetfire's canopy. Now, what SD Reviews actually showed me is that you can remove Jetfire's canopy, and you can actually reverse it, and that will actually give Optimus and Jetfire, Optimus and Overload, the clearance they need to combine onto the super mode. So there we've got Jetfire's canopy reversed. Once again, thank you SD Reviews for teaching me about that. I really appreciate it. And now I will show you what Optimus, Jetfire, and Overload all look like when they are combined. Now, just like with his super mode, all you do is you just take Optimus and you plug in the headlights onto these connection ports right here on Jetfire. And we'll go ahead and, here, we'll move over a little bit, sorry. Go ahead and connect him onto those ports right there. And there we go. We have Optimus combined onto Jetfire. Sorry about the angle, guys. But then, since we've got Optimus combined with Jetfire, we can start adding like weapons and details. Like we can add the Jetfire shield onto his chest, and we can add Jetfire's plasma blaster into Optimus's arm. And then we can, like I said earlier, we could actually take the Overload blaster and put it in Optimus's other hand, just like this. And I would honestly say that Megatron might want to consider running, because I definitely would not want to stare down the barrel of these guns. But anyway, guys, there is the Optimus, Overload, and Jetfire combination. I don't know if this one actually has an official name, but personally, I call it Overload Jet Optimus. Once again, I'd like to thank Waffle on the Wane and Emmett Animations for requesting that I do Overload. And then I want to give one final shout out to SD Reviews for teaching me that trick about Jetfire's canopy. If you guys have any other ideas for other Transformers you'd like me to try and do, feel free to let me know. Even let me know down in the comments. Even hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And I will see what I can do to help you out in the future. Until then, bye.